Well, welcome, and in today's lecture I want to show you how you can write a C program in Atmel Studio. First, click on File, click on New, click on Project. You click on the location and you tell it the location you want your file to be stored at, and then you type in the name for your program. And up here, don't forget to do this. It's important to come up here and click on the C and C++ as opposed to the assembler we had before. Then, of these choices, the one that you want to pick out and use today is this one, although we might use the C++ in the future. Today we're not going to use C++, so I'm going to use the C executable project right here, and then I will click OK. Next, we type in the part number, then we come over here and click on that part, and then we hit OK. It comes back with a shell program that you can use. The first thing I'm going to do is to delete some of these comments so I have more room to write a program. And in this program you'll see it starts with int main void. Then the main program goes from its first curly bracket to its matching curly bracket down here. That's the scope of main. The computer put in a while statement, and here's an example of a loop where you can loop forever because it says while 1 means true. So while it's true, you're going to loop forever between this curly bracket and this curly bracket, and forever it'll be doing this loop right here. I'll delete that. And there we go. Before this, let's put in some other stuff. Let's try something like a for loop. Let's do a for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than 9, I plus plus. This says make I initially 0, and then run the body of the loop, which is here between the curly brackets. Then after the body is executed, increase I by 1, and then ask the question, is I less than 9? That's true, because it's now a 1. The body will run again. After the body, we increment, ask the question. If the question is true, we run the body again. So this will have I go from the values of 0 through okay. All right, let's do a DDRB. Let's go to the port. In fact, let's back up a little bit, and in this body what you could do is you could put in something that uses the I. So let's have x be equal to 2 times I plus 3, some equation. But the computer is going to wonder, what is x? X needs to be declared, and let's declare x as an integer. And we'll give it an initial value of 0, but you don't have to. What is an integer? Integers are numbers between 0 and 65,535. That would be a 2-byte variable. So once again, integers go up to 65,535. Well, next let's work with a port. And to work with a port, you first have to set the DDRB. So let's have our DDRB set to F40F. This means that the upper half are inputs and the lower half are outputs. If you want to output to the lower half, you say port B equals then the value that you want to go to the port. And I'll say 0B1110. So we have one LED that's off and 3 LEDs that would be on. Semicolon. If you want to read the port, you can say this. X equals pin B. But pin B has 8 pins, but we only need the upper 4. So we're going to AND this with 0B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to keep the upper half and kill the lower half. Semicolon. This symbol here does a logical AND. A bitwise AND. With this value for x, we could go to an if statement. If x equals, and it's equals, not equals. 0b, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we get this pattern for the bits, in other words, on, and then 2 offs, and then these other 4 were forced to be off. If we get this, then we're going to do the then section, which will be something like this. Make I equal to 1. Else I equals 0. Here's how you do an if and an else statement. The else is optional. If you have multiple items for either section, you must put them in curly brackets. But I don't. So this curly bracket down here is optional. Now, if you try to compile this, it'll give you an error because it doesn't know what I is. You see, the I that we have up here is only in the for loop. This I is not valid outside of the for loop. So you have to declare the I variable, like int I. Now it should be happy. So if you were to compile this, which I just did, I noticed I had an error. And I had a little typo here. I didn't notice it, but my curly bracket needs to go outside of that semicolon right there. I just missed that. And with this correction now the program is good. So here you have an example of some simple C statements, some very common C statements of how to do looping and how to use the port. So I'm going to, at this point, we're going to stop the video.